Welcome to Caribbean Millennials.
Welcome to episode 105 of the Caribbean Millennials podcast. Hey.
What was that?
Excitement. That's what it was. Welcome to the month of May, you beautiful people out there.
105. What do you get when you add 2, 0, 2, and 1 together?
5.
Boom. Illuminati.
What?
Actually, this week we're going to have a 555 day. So the 5th of the 5th month in a 5-year. It's a big thing for people into new.
5 year? What?
2 plus 0 plus 2 plus 1 is 5. So
Wait,
it's
oh,
a
that's a
5 year.
5-year.
All right. Y'all astrology people.
It's numerology.
You're just making up any fucking thing now.
It's numerology.
Serious. Like,
So can you imagine 555 on 555?
Oh, yeah. All right. I good. Because you're just making any fucking thing up now. That's it.
Damn, I have to wake up at 5:55 a.m.
Yeah, I'm gonna set 2 alarms. Now remember, there's gonna be one in the morning, but that's gonna be the true one. The second one could either be 5 or 17.
You're
right?
making
Yeah. I'll have 5
If
eggs
you're-
with
So
5
Danny
chips
gets
of
it.
bacon
Don't worry.
on
If
5
you're
slices
kind
of
of-
bread.
I'll give you 5. I will give you 5 pieces of bacon.
If you cannot tell, I have no patience for a lot of these.
You have no patience for a lot of things. Period. Period.
Like, don't get me wrong. I believe in some of the astrology stuff.
It's not
I'm-
astrology, it's numerology. So numerology has stuff even with your name. So you can add up the numbers of all of your names.
So I have
and
6669. What happens?
Well,
That will see.
I don't want to be the bearer of bad news.
I
but-
mean, that explains a lot in itself. Right?
Prop.
No, I'm not a numerology expert or anything.
Hey,
So don't
hey,
come at me
the
with
first-
all of that.
My
Go
first
online
name.
and find out.
How many
But there's
letters in my
a
first name?
5.
Oh yeah, we on today, buddy.
Quick maths.
Quick maths.
Numerology. I've heard of numerology. I'm not discrediting it. Okay. So here's my thing.
It's just supposed to be a big day, and they say the portals are going to be open.
the portals. Oh my god! You know you're not helping the case, right?
Stand
is
clear
like
of the
what they
portals,
said.
guys.
This is like what they said
beware,
last year.
beware.
Last year, black people were supposed to
So
get
when you're
superpowers.
drinking your margarita on Cinco de Mayo with 555, just make sure you don't fall in a portal.
That's like last year. Remember they said black people should get superpowers on a day or some shit like
That was in numerology, though. So
Yeah,
that's
and I got my superpowers. Okay.
so.
the portals.
Vernon,
Okay.
here's the thing.
I want a portal to open to $1 million. So
Here's the thing, Vernon. If you don't believe it's not going to happen,
I always
Exactly.
manifested.
I go in and buy 5 scratch tickets.
We'll buy 5 shots.
No. So now
I'll
you want
buy
to put
5.
we? Now you want to put we?
But
shit.
if you're going for 555, right?
Uh,
I'll buy 5. You buy 5. My sister buy 5. So that's 5, 5, 5.
Times 555. Oh my goodness.
and then,
The 5th
We'll
ticket of the 5th person. What?
but there are only 3.
Well,
Shh.
I go tell my mother by 5
And your dad.
and tell my father by 5. So one of us have to win.
Okay,
There was
but-
this movie where the 7th son of the 7th son got
Oh my
superpowers.
God.
So what if the 5th ticket
Oh
of the 5th
yeah, I've seen
person
stuff
gets,
about
away?
the 7th of the 7th.
777.
Nah, we're not going down this rabbit hole. Like,
My birthday has so much power.
I'm stopping you right here.
If only you were born in a 7.
How was your week?
Damn, Vernon.
Okay, we're not going down this rabbit hole.
Well, before you go there,
My
let's
week
just
was 5 days long.
I couldn't even control my laugh for that one. Wow.
Yeah. Okay, we can try this song. I don't even know what to say. Did you only do 5 hours of work?
Most days, except on the 50. Why I did no work.
Anushka, what you wanted to say?
Adani,
Yes.
how many letters in lunch?
5. Damn.
How many
And you
letters
have-
in snack?
Whoa. 5.
So you're just going to look for me.
It's a conspiracy.
It's a conspiracy. Okay.
How many
like that
letters in
movie-
brick?
That's like in that
5.
movie Jim Carrey was in with like the number 7 or something about the number 7.
Hey, if 5 is your lucky number, this week is your week. All
Not
right.
the whole week, just one day of the week.
Well, sometimes the energy lasts before and after, right?
Okay. Okay.
Vernon will become a believer one day.
I believe in certain things. This is something I need to do more research to make to
I'll
form
go and pull your life path number.
my life. All right, nah, we're not doing this. This is not the episode for this. All right.
All right. Point is, it is the wonderful month of May. It is your girl's birthday month, and it's gonna be fire all month long. I'm feeling it. It's a vibe. It's also a mental health awareness month. So, guys, get yourselves in check. Take that time to meditate. Remove those toxic people and situations from your space.
Okay. So
What the fuck, Vin?
no. I agree. I 100% agree. Mental health awareness. If work on your mental, get your shit aligned and whatnot. But then you said the thing about remove those toxic people from your space, and I agree, but I also disagree because you could be the toxic one.
You could. That's why I said the first thing first.
Okay, just checking. Nah, because okay.
Take care of your mental,
Yeah.
right? If you're realizing there are things you're holding on to that do not serve you, let that go.
Nah, because I know
If you realize you're demonstrating behaviors that are not aligned with your true self, find a way to do the healing work and let
let's just
that
do all that
go.
magic with your hands right now. Because if people could see you, they'd be like, "What the hell is wrong with this girl?"
Energy, push that away, push that away, push it away.
No. I said what I said because
you look at a lot of toxic people on Twitter who do that, so I understand that, but that's not what I'm saying. You know me.
yes, I get what you're saying, but it's not even that. It was just I was having one of my random thought processes this week when I was just I had a little downtime and whatnot, and it's like we as people like I noticed a thing for us in a prevailing thing that has happened in I don't say the past couple of years. I think it's probably always been going on, but it's more noticeable with social media. Is people do like to take accountability, like to pass the blame on. So you're working on your mental health, and some people in working on their mental health, their thing is to pass the blame on to somebody else to help them with their mental health.
Fun fact, I actually spoke to somebody this week who was going through something like that, right?
Okay.
So they were saying they went on Instagram and they were like, how do you fix something that you don't realize that you're doing, right? And they were open like to feedback and stuff, and they actually said something along the lines of, oh, friends or people around me, if you see something I'm doing, don't let my stubbornness dissuade you or whatever. And I
Now,
called
you
her
see,
out there.
That's somebody that I want to change in my
But I
opinion,
called her
but-
out there because I said, in how she phrased it, it was like you telling people, oh, fight for it for me, because you're not willing to let go of your stubbornness and open yourself to just receive.
Okay.
You understand?
Okay.
So even there, that's an element of, oh shoot, well, let me actually, really think about this, and where am I, throwing that on other people to do the work for me. You understand?
Okay. I hear you, and I can see how you can take it that way, but I don't know. You said it. You said what the person said.
I'll get you the exact words if you want.
No, I just said you how I interpreted what you just said. It's like, if you see me doing something you don't like, as opposed to, you keeping it to yourself, like just say, hey, you did this and I don't really like that.
Yeah, if
and maybe then they'll become aware of, hey, maybe I have this bad behavior.
If that was exactly what they said, if they said if I'm doing something wrong, right?
Okay.
What they said was, don't let my stubbornness deter you. So your stubbornness could be interpreted as you have resistance, but you're expecting the other person.
Nah.
Yes.
Yeah. No. I get what you're saying. I get what you're saying, but nah,
you're expecting the other person.
All the person need to do is tell you, you did X, Y, and Z I don't like, and then it's for you to go and
right.
sit
But
with yourself and
you
figure
tell
out
the person recognizes you're stubborn, and you telling them, oh, go past my stubbornness. No, you need to. If you really want to be open, you need to let that go. You cannot expect people to want to fight your fights to make you better, right?
Okay. I understand what you're saying. But yeah, that's why I said what I said.
But let me tell you, that's necessary work that needs to be done. It's Mental Health Awareness Month. There are probably going to be a ton of resources around mental health, free meditations, all these kinds of stuff.
Here's the thing. They have them resources all year round.
Yeah, but it's gonna be more out in the media now and more in the conversation. Exactly. Yeah. And even just try to have more conversations about mental health, be it with your friends or somebody who's an advocate or someone that's just like a safe space, right?
Let me ask you a question. Mm-hmm. Let me ask you all a question. Since it's mental health awareness and all that stuff, right? Do you think it's I try to figure out how to word this. Let's say me and you fell out, right? Mm-hmm. And we had talked for a year maybe. Mm-hmm. You think like, it's a good thing, a good step in the process of becoming mentally healthy for, let's say me and you, we had an issue and I fall out with you. Maybe I reach out with you and find out, like, what exactly did I say, or that kind of thing, Not necessarily trying to mend the fence or anything, but just, try and figure out, what is that went wrong and maybe I can correct it to avoid it.
First of all, I'm not a psychologist or counselor, anybody qualified to give any kind of things that.
No, I'm not saying, I'm just asking your opinion.
My opinion is that that's a very general thing, but in you trying to do something like that, it takes two, you could be triggering something for somebody else.
Okay.
So there are ways that you can heal from something like that without necessarily getting someone else involved. So for me, I have had things with certain people, and for me, I just had to heal it within myself, the not knowing, right? And just say, it's okay for people to not like me if I already have things of being liked, right? So if somebody doesn't like me, that's not the end of the world. What's the thing you say? Yuck and yum or whatever?
Yeah, do yuck somebody yum.
Yeah, and maybe somebody don't like me and that's fine. That's their business. I don't have to please everybody if pleasing is a trait that you have to be kind of thing of.
You know my stance on that already. Yeah. So, yeah. But how was your week? How was everyone's week? How was your week, Adani?
My week was eventful.
Really?
Things happened. Things came to pass. Things came to be, and things continue to do so. But
okay.
I will reveal more in the coming weeks. But
so mysterious.
Yeah,
okay.
It was a good week. I must say, it was a good week. Today.
Oh wait.
Lost a motherboard.
Are you talking about what I think you're talking about?
Other than you might be onto something for them.
Okay. Yeah, because I meant to ask you about that. I saw you ask something in the group, but I couldn't. I was so busy that
no problem. I got it sorted out.
Okay. All right. I know what it is. It's good news.
So
I know it's good news.
Some good news came through. So
yeah.
As things settle in the dust, I will reveal more to podcast land
in due time.
I feel like I'm in podcast land.
No. I'll tell you after the podcast. But yeah, yes. But other than that, it was a good week. How did the landslide affect you?
I was not able to go to work on Friday due to the roadworks not being opened until like 4 p.m. So at 4 p.m. they opened the road back, and it's single lane traffic only. So this week's going to be fun. Looks pash. but
Boy.
pass meaning passable.
Um,
They basically cut into the mountain where the landslides happen to make more room for road. But
Excuse me?
yeah, so expect more landslides to happen.
Okay. Yeah.
And they
On
put
this episode of Living in the Islands.
they put the big concrete barriers that they put on medians. They put
Yeah.
that on the edge where the road is falling.
Okay.
So
to stop people from going. Yeah.
Yeah, I guess in case somebody lost control or something, you don't go over.
I was talking to my dad about it, and he's saying, he's saying this is not the first time this has happened.
Oh no!
And when the first time it happened, yeah, he said the first time it happened, he went there and he was talking to some people and he was telling them what they need to do to avoid this from happening. And the main issue is they have no drainage there. They need drains because they get a lot of rain up there, a lot of water, and the water just basically just running across the road, running across.
Yeah, well, that's
why the road doesn't last.
Yeah, so they need drains, and I thought about it. They really have no drains on that road. They need some drains, and honestly, about time we need an alternate route.
Let me tell you, they've been working on that alternate route for time memorial.
Bruh.
The route is actually there. They literally just have to expand on the road and put drains. There's already a road from the East Coast, North East Coast to the East Coast. So they just have to and there's already a road that goes across island. People were used to travel back in the day. So they just need to build on those roads. But I guess money and COVID, etc.
Boy,
who knows?
Yeah. I hope they come for more permanent solution, because that temporary one look like it's gonna last so long. Like you'll just need a good heavy rain, and it's back to square one on that. So knock on wood that doesn't happen. But
and imagine that's your main road that brings people to your main airport.
Exactly. Well, I mean, head out. Basically, on the bright side, nobody was hurt.
Correct.
When that happened. So what is hurt? I mean, people got stuck not being able to go to work for a day or two, but in the long run, no one was hurt, and hopefully they can get it fixed and come from a permanent solution, and we'll be back up and running proper and whatnot. But
it was my mental day.
It was your mental day.
How was your week?
My week was alright. A little long, a little busy, but I survived it. So I had nothing to complain about. A lot of meetings, because as you know, my company, my group within my company, we getting ready to go 24/7. So
what does that mean?
We're going to be working round the clock. They're going to have somebody from the.
So you're going to start.
Well,
how does it affect you?
So we started out working. It wasn't 24/7. We were getting ready.
You had a 9 to 5
and tools. I had a regular 9 to 5, and that was fine. But I knew when I got hired that at some point we'd be going 24/7, because I got hired to build out a security operations center, and we didn't have people. It was just like 5 of us in the beginning, but now we've hired more people. We've fleshed out some of the processes, and we've gotten our tools to a solid point. We think we hired some supervisors, and we did a random drawing for the shifts, basically. So starting May 30th, I'll be working nights, 11 to 9 p.m., 11 p.m. to 9 a.m.
Sunday through Wednesday.
That's my shift. So I basically end up for a 4-day weekend. 3-day, 4-day weekend, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and basically mostly the whole of Sunday. Yeah.
Depending on when you change your sleeping schedule too.
Yeah. So I end up for a 4-day weekend. Call it that. So, it's okay. I'm not really bothered by it. That's kind of my prime hours, and I get a little pay increase working nights. So yeah, I kind of looking forward to it,
So if anyone has any tips on transitioning to a nightlife shift,
a nightlife shift,
hit Vernon up.
No, I don't think it'll be too hard. It'll just be my regular my.
But is that gonna be every day? Like, are you gonna keep the sleeping like that every day?
I don't know. I'll have to see. The first couple of weeks, I'll decide what I want to do. If I want to, keep it like that. If I want to, try and revert for the weekend, so I can
do I only have a husband on Mondays through Thursday?
You have a husband whenever you need. I'm always here. I'll step if I have to stay up.
Anytime you need me, I'll be there.
See, my hype man. Right there.
This gives wedding flashbacks of you wiping his brow and all of that.
See? Hype man. Always there for me.
Always there to help.
How was your weekend, Anushka?
It was good. I feel like my mind, body, and soul realized that birthday month had arrived. So I got into a really good mental space, and I feel like I've been struggling with that for a little while. So
started your mental health awareness month early.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah. So I'm feeling good. It's been a vibe. Was it last podcast I went like the last time we recorded, I went kayaking?
Yes, you did.
Yeah, so I started off the week kayaking for the first time, and I feel like that just, I don't know, it started my week on a high note and it just kind of continued sailing that way.
You just have to throw in a little whack pun, huh? I know.
You know I'm punny.
You can't help yourself.
You know I'm punny.
I'm trying to ignore it. Trying.
So in other news this week, y'all, or transitioning to news this week, oh my God, with India.
It's wild.
Right? So, taken from the New York Times, the number of new daily cases has exceeded... global coronavirus cases are surging, driven by India and South America. The number of new daily cases has exceeded 800,000 for more than a week, largely driven by India, which now accounts for more than 40% of the world's new cases.
Wow.
In India, it's, hot mess is an understatement. Where it's like vaccines are running short, hospitals are swamped, they're like mass cremation grounds and burning of bodies every day. It really sounds horrible, and that's going to be an understatement too. And it's like India that was there for everybody else.
Nobody there for them.
Now it's like,
that's the thing that bothered me.
Mm-hmm.
When this thing started, they rushed, they gave vaccines to people, they tried their best to help everyone, and now they need help, and it's like no one wants to help them. And the US hoarding vaccines, Canada hoarding vaccines. I think the US have some vaccines that are about to go bad because they hoard, and it's like, yo, India needs help.
And I mean, I feel like, again, this whole pandemic is bringing to light all of these global powers and humanity, or the lack thereof, and it's just
serious lack thereof, man.
And you really feel it, because it's like you start seeing all of these tragedies and things everywhere, right? The volcano in St. Vincent, now COVID in India. Like, there's always going to be something like that, and it's like so important to help and be our brother's keeper, but then it seems like there's so much, continuously happening, right? So thoughts, prayers, hearts, resources, whatever, everything. Going out to India, to Brazil, and it's just like, as many of us are ready to like get on with our lives and go back to normal, it's like this virus is still not gone, and it's still wreaking havoc, on many people's families and lives, right? So I just definitely wanted to bring that to attention, because it's huge, right?
Definitely praise up for India and St. Vincent, who also got a lot of rain and had landslides. And all manner of mudslides. Yeah, so.
That was crazy. And honestly, y'all know this is not the end of the landslides for them.
Yeah,
we're not even in the rainy season as yet.
Yeah, exactly.
That's exactly.
And Lord knows what hurricane season is going to be like this year.
Honestly, I don't know how St. Vincent is going to recover. I just hope we in the Caribbean, all the other islands, can come together and provide some kind of help for them, for them to be able to, recover from this. Yeah.
I saw you guys talking about this in the group, and I saw it a lot on social media. DJ Khaled's new...
Oh, God.
Mid.
What?
Mid? Oh, you've never heard that phrase, mid? Like, it's meh.
Okay.
The album is just blah.
Well, I guess
the
about
album feels rushed. The only really good song on there, in my opinion, the only three good songs on there: the two Drake songs and the one with Buju, Capleton, and Bounty Killer. That's the only three good songs on there.
Okay.
That's how I feel.
Adani,
you brought it up. I'll let you know. I not to cut you off before you go, Adani. But I see people on social media bigging up the Capleton, the song with Capleton and Buju, and it's a good song, and I agree with them. Like, it's a good song. Like, giving it props, and that's it. Like, yeah, I mean, I expected that. Khalid is always going to put some dancehall song or something with dancehall artists on his albums. If it's one thing Khalid does, is try and give dancehall props whenever he can. So I can't even really be mad at it. Unlike people like Drake that'll come and try and speak for Jamaican accent, or Tory Lanez that'll do that annoying Jamaican accent, but never really try and help big up dancehall. Or Drake will do a song with Popcorn. He'll have it on the radio, right? But on his album, he'll take him off it.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's it. Like, nothing really to talk about there, honestly.
Yeah.
Adani?
Sums it up.
Yeah. So, where we going? What are we talking about?
So, Adani, what are we talking about?
Gaming culture. Now, not gaming culture today, but gaming culture for us as millennials, as people who grew up in the Caribbean or the Caribbean diaspora.
Okay.
Yeah.
What was like your gaming experience? Like, I mean, not just talking about, Nintendo Mario Brothers, talking about like young in the rabid wildlands of the school playground,
Okay.
where one child had a metal marble and was just reaping havoc on everybody
You're
else.
talking to Villain right now. You're talking to Villain right
You're
now.
bringing back flashbacks there.
So before we get Vernon all heated, and before this discussion goes way out of whack, I just wanted to say that this episode is sponsored by Sapat Gaming. So if you are St. Lucian and listening to this and you have not played or seen Salopoly, the game, you need to get on that ASAP, and Sapat Gaming is responsible for the loads of fun you are going to have once you cop Salopoly. This company specializes in producing Caribbean board games. It started out kind of like a fluke, a family project during lockdown. Then they posted that they did their board on social media and everyone was like, where can I get one?
Yes.
So they turned it into a business and have really become passionate about creating culturally relevant content, which is what we like to do,
that, yeah.
right? So they're really focused on making Caribbean people feel represented in the board game space. I played with Vernon's sister. We had a hell of a time, and their first game, Salopoly, is great and was really focused on St. Lucian culture. But their next game that's coming out soon, You're Wrong for That, is Caribbean regional influence.
Okay.
So if you guys want to check out sapat.gaming on Instagram, give them a follow and look out for their next product.
Yeah, we'll provide the links in the description to their Instagram.
All right. Take us off it, Annie.
I have to get bored of that, I've been watching people play and it just doesn't seem right with me.
It is so much fun. You're missing out. You're really missing out.
Yeah,
I feel like,
especially as a Monopoly professional, I feel like the Lucian version just give me even more of an advantage because, like, I know these streets. I know this. I don't know Boardwalk. I don't know Park Place. I don't know what the other ones are, but I know Corinth.
Yeah, you do.
Cul-de-sac. Yeah, exactly.
You know Boseju.
Yeah, I know the bus stops.
I think the other thing is it's really nice. So it was really nice reminiscing and having the experience and having conversations while playing it. So Adani, just so you know, there's a card for your friend Pemi Lady in there.
Jesus Christ, hope I don't get that card.
So I feel like even maybe for younger generations that don't know the stories that we knew, like we could explain to people, or maybe if you grew up in St. Lucia but your kids are not from there, it could be a way to have that dialogue and conversation about different parts or pieces of that experience. So excited to see their things. But let me tell you, next games night, if all of us get together, you know that have to be there.
Yes. Oh yes. Classic. So segueing from this into gaming culture.
Okay.
Hit us.
Right. So what do you guys think about when you think of like gaming culture from like when you were just entering primary school to like when you were leaving high school?
Ring games. Around the ring, Catherine.
Sure. Why you have to move road, do body rolls, all kind of things to say? Anyway, it really evolved as you got older.
Wait, but as guys, y'all played ring games?
I played everything. That's what I'm saying. Like I'm saying, it evolved because
looking at the four-time, right? Ring game champion.
Yeah.
Hip to up tomorrow. What?
What was the other one? There was silence.
But that's what I'm saying. Like it evolved because you found yourself. You played things like the little hand games, like
hand games.
Things. You played catchers. Maybe you played marbles. Maybe you all did jump rope. So you skipped
Chinese skip.
You played jacks. You played jacks. You do all these little things. And then I found like as it got older, it changed from us playing those games to us playing actual physical sports in high school. So at lunchtime you would play football, you play basketball, or you play video games. Or you'd have that time in school where after exams you have that period where you're not doing anything. So somebody bring Uno,
board games or Uno some card games. We used to play cards with my parents and stuff like that. There was also what you
play.
Volley Pache. What were the names of the games? My friend brought up the Jamaican games. What she said?
Well, I didn't blank out already.
Okay, shoot.
But yeah, I feel like as you got older, the type of games you played, it changed. But I feel like at least for us in our time, we all played the little ring games and stuff when we were outside. I don't know what the young kids doing now. Because, no, you laugh, but they probably all have cell phones, so they probably at break time they playing something on their phone.
Remember when we got
games?
Remember when we got cell phones and Snake was the baddest thing?
We got cell phones. Snake was the thing for us. Snake. You're around
I remember the Samsung Blue had a popular Arrow game. There was Snake. There was Tetris.
I feel like
the online game.
I feel like the online games that we started to have was our way to like talk and do things with our friends after, like once we went home, like Neopets. That was my jam.
But even there in like MSN, the online games you had in MSN that you'd play together, I would go and play Yahoo Pool. That's my thing. I would go and play Yahoo Pool. But let's it started, I feel like, in infant primary school, the games we played then, it was different from what we played when we went to secondary school, high school, right? So
I feel though, like you brought up stuff like sports, and because I wasn't really playing sports in high school, what I used to do was play with the little boys' hearts.
Oh, that's a game to you?
Right, as I was saying, you're proud to say that, right? Like
I just saying what happened, y'all asked to share experiences.
You're proud to say that.
I do remember, especially during summer camps, Truth or Dare being a very popular game.
Truth or Dare made me nervous.
Which for somebody to ask you the truth?
or dare.
Because clearly you weren't afraid of being dead.
I was afraid of all of it.
They would ask, Truth, how do you feel about banana exportation in St. Lucia right now?
Nah.
I can't reveal the truth.
How many ham and cheese did you eat today?
No. She rather go through the tunnel of shame. You used to do that. Like if you didn't do it, like everybody had to line up in like a tunnel, and then you had to go through on your knees and then like hit the person on their. Oh, okay. That was just a step. No, because there had to be some kind of consequences for not doing the truth for the day.
Okay. There wasn't an option. You had to do it.
Yeah, I didn't know about this until I went to summer camp. I swear, go to summer camp because summer camp just be wilding. But
so I
went to summer camp once or twice, and it was
like
wild.
That's why my first kiss.
I think I only did like one summer camp. It was like a swim thing. My mother put me in.
Oh yeah, I did swim. But I went to more than one. I went to a lot of summer camps.
Yeah, but outside of that, I was against the whole summer camp thing. I just wanted to be left at home so I can read books.
Nothing has changed.
And run around outside and follow my brother all over while he chased me and tell me, "No, go back home. You're not supposed to be there," kind of thing.
Yeah. I mind summer camp because summer camp was like usually 2 weeks. That'd be 2 weeks. Especially like kids safari. Like you travel around St. Lucia and have food.
Yeah, that was fun.
Yeah. Okay, so Missy, give me some of your memorable
schools.
Give me some of your memorable moments around games, like when you're in infant and primary school. Like talk
in
to me.
In school, I mean, you want to talk about in school or at home?
Well,
because you also like play games at home, like in family and
we'll talk
stuff.
about at home like later, but let me talk about in school. Because we spend a good portion of our time in school, right? You know, we in school, you know, you playing friends lunchtime. What you're playing at lunchtime, let's say?
I used to play the hand games. I used to play some ring game. Huh? No, like silence and stuff like that.
Yeah, sure. So what's
silence?
And for white, silence is it's rhythmic, right? It's dun 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 dun.
The people cannot see you.
You know, like
it's the thing with your hands, Danny. So you
clap,
know it's like
cross
it's
one,
you
cross
and someone
two.
else.
And it goes up in number where you flip your hands like one and then you do it again.
Oh, that had a name.
1, 2. Yeah, silence because you're not supposed to talk while you're doing it.
Oh, that had a name. Interesting.
You learned something new.
Yeah, because the people playing it were silent, so you wouldn't hear what anyone is silent.
That's probably why they never said the name.
So that was your thing.
I used to, and me and a girl, Elva, we used to go hardcore in silence, but she was so messed up. She used to be wearing a gold ring while she was playing silence. So she used to turn her hand extra hard, so like the gold ring was lashing you.
Sound like you were weak.
No, I used to go all out.
Oh, because I mean, if you're in that, you know.
No, I was
go big or go home.
Your opponent, you know, you have to adapt to what your opponent brings.
Yeah, so
as somebody who used to bring special equipment for marbles and pen fight. You know, I can respect her golden ring on her finger. She knew what she was doing.
Fight, we have to have a separate thing for pen fights. We'll talk about pen fight later because I feel like that was a big thing out of everybody's life all throughout school.
Oh yeah, when you have a free period, boy.
So, the other hand game was like 4 white horses. It was like you play with 4 people and you go up and down and side. And then there were all of the like dancing, whining game, ring games kind of thing.
Okay, so that was your jam.
That was my jam a little bit. When the whining was getting a little too aggressive, I used to back out because I didn't feel like I was pelting wish like that. The confidence wasn't there. 1,000%. Okay. I didn't really do any running games. Like I used to fall a lot and I had a bad reputation for falling, so I wasn't going to run to expose myself for the shame.
Makes sense. I mean, why expose yourself, you know?
And people used to be like, Anushka, you don't want to play. I used to be like, nah, I'm cool.
I see, my girl.
But also like the written things, like name, place, animal thing.
Oh,
talk
and
to
hangman.
Me. Hangman. Oh, talk to me.
X and O.
World champion.
You know already.
Danny, what was your jam? Talk to me. What you were in?
So I like the sport. Track and field was good. Cricket was fun. especially when we had like a proper bat and not just a piece of coconut branch.
I know about that. Yeah.
And then football was good. And sometimes we would play basketball, baseball, American football, random times. On the other funner game side, marbles. Marbles was my thing. We had a strip of sand because the school I went to was by the airport, which is by the beach. There's like a strip of sand on the like back classrooms. We used to like set that up, put boards on the side, make an arena. There'd be the hole. You have to go in. Oh, and hard marbles every break time. Not even eating your food, bringing the food back home because doing the marbles so hard. And then, I brought a metal ball to school.
I know about that.
Yeah, and
marbles
claim some marble lives.
Marbles became a big part of my life from like standard 2 onwards, to the point that there were times my mom would pack my lunch kit, and a certain part of it I would take the food out to pack it with marbles. So here's the thing.
Your snacks?
Yes.
I didn't play by my snacks.
Here's the thing.
Well, you didn't play by ham and cheese either.
My mom used to let me. I used to walk from school. It got to a point where they would let me walk from school to her office, right? So that means Villain got to go through cash trees and drag himself all over cash trees. And in the height of my marble days, I made a discovery of a place. Because one day I met my grandmother and she said, "Oh, well, let's go with me." So I went to my grandmother. She said, "But let's stop here." And she stopped in the market / CDC at a friend of hers. I have a little store there. And I found out that her friend was selling marbles at 10 cents a marble. So your boy was buying like 20 plus marbles a day. Because I'll take like $2 and go buy like 20 marbles. And one day, I got a ball bearing. Not a marble. My brother's like, "Oh, you didn't play this, that." My brother older than me at that point, remember, like 7 years older than me. So he find out I play marble. He's like, "All right, like, yeah," he played with me a little bit. And then he's like, "That's what you play with?" He's like, "This is what you have to play with." And he give me a ball bearing marble. I'm like, "What? Like, why you want me to play that? Like, that heavy?" Like, anyway. Put that in my lunch kit. Never really think anything of it. Go keep playing with my marbles until one day somebody else came with one. And that person was shattering people's marbles. And I remember Danny, remember the little cat eyes?
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
I put out my favorite cat eye while I was winning with that boy. Yeah. And the man shattered my cat eye. And I was like, what the fuck? I was pissed. I run, grab the lunch kit, whip out that marble my brother gave me. And I'm like, I'm about to get payback for what you just did. Yo, you don't understand. Marbles is like a big thing for me. Like, to the point that I'm sure if you ask my mother right now, there's a jar of marbles in my old bedroom right now. Just like sitting there. Like,
you should bring it back up when you
like that was my shit. Nah, I not no.
You don't want to on display in your house for somebody to say, "Oh, what's that?"
That was a dark time in my life. Like,
whatever.
Like, I was spending all my money on marbles. There's a point like it was bad. I was spending like a lot of money on marbles. Like I would be there, like, and like I remember the lady told my grandmother like I was always there, and my grandmother asked me like, "You always going in that shop?" I'm like, I lied. And she beat me for it because I lied, because she knew I was always going there and I was buying like mad marbles and whatnot. And then my mother found out like I was spending some of my lunch money on marbles. It was a whole thing. It was a bad time. Right? Went to a dark place. Right? I mean,
dark marble
right?
place.
No, but
he was in the marble underground.
You know what's the funny thing? I was in marbles, but I was also into the very worst thing ever. And you could ask my parents, it was, at first I was like, okay, yeah, cool and all, but after a while it was bad because I was literally spending all my money on it. Pokemon cards.
Oh yeah. And there were the Yu-Gi-Oh cards.
Your
too,
boy.
Right?
Nah. Yu-Gi-Oh,
no, I'm just saying
Yu-Gi-Oh
in the
secondary
time.
school.
In the time.
I'm talking about primary school right
well,
there.
I'm younger than you, so
Pokemon
Yu-Gi-Oh is the
Red,
end of primary school for me.
Your
Red,
boy had
blue,
all
and
the
yellow.
Pokemon cards. Let me tell you something, I initiate some of the sickest trades ever in my life. When I think about it, like I had no right doing that. That was disrespectful what I did to people. I traded the same Clefairy 5 times in a day. The same Clefairy I traded 5 times in a day.
So you traded, get it back?
Yeah. So here's the thing. At the time I got into Pokemon cards, and everyone at the time I got into Pokemon cards, I was ahead of everybody else. Because what happened was my friend Nathan, he was in Pokemon cards, but it was because his mom used to travel. She would go to England, she'd go to Japan, and she brought back Pokemon cards for us. So we had Pokemon cards before we had Pokemon cards in Japanese before people even had Pokemon cards in English. So we were ahead of the game, right? So we had most of the Pokemon cards. So when people got into it and they started buying packs and whatnot, they used to go to Peppers and buy the Pokemon packs and whatnot. We knew what Pokemon cards were valuable or not because we also had a book telling us the rarity and what cards were worth for. So we knew what to trade. So I used to have multiples of cards when people had like none of them and they would want them. So people would trade me for them, you know. So I used to initially like, yo, I'm giving you a Clefairy, give me that Clefairy, I'm giving you this. And I go and trade the Clefairy to somebody else. And I'd come back and trade it for another duplicate. And it was crazy. That was like, that had consumed a good portion of my life, Pokemon, if I go to be honest. Like, because then my dad bought me a Game Boy. I remember I got Pokemon Yellow first. Then I got Blue, Red. Then someone stole the Game Boy. I'm sorry. We went down the hole. We here, okay? But yeah. So Pokemon cards is a big part of my life. Adani.
Yes, I love Pokemon cards, and what made Pokemon cards so great for me was actually when I started, because I wasn't really into it at first, but when I got, there was this boy in school, and he was a rich kid. Right?
Okay.
Always have the first of everything. Pokemon cards, best marbles, everything.
One of those.
Consoles, yeah, everything. As soon as it come out, his parents in the US, so boom, get that down, but like that same Christmas or summer vacation, whenever.
Organize immediately.
Yeah. So, but, you know, I could say he wasn't the smartest boy, but he was lazy. So I would trade him and he would give me things. Right? So I would like do a homework or project for him or something, and then I would get Pokemon cards, or he would let me borrow his Game Boy. Now, I wasn't really into Pokemon cards, but when I borrowed that Game Boy for the first time and I went home, right? And I had a pack of AA batteries, right? This is the Game Boy Color. And I put on Pokemon Red for the first time. I was like, my word. Let me tell you, that weekend, that was like a Friday afternoon. From Friday to Monday morning, I did not see the sun. In my bed, I am there playing Pokemon. Switching out batteries. Yo, that was so much fun. So after that, I got into Pokemon cards.
You want to know the funny thing? I think all these games, it helped a lot of us being able to do certain things that like apply to like real life. So being able to like barter and negotiate and trade. A lot of these games, they give us those skills. Yeah. And so like, I think at the time we didn't realize it. We were just playing the game and it's like, oh, yo, I really want that card. Let me see what I can offer that person, how I can, trade with that person.
Well, also, it's some of the games and stuff was like strategy, right? Especially when you go into certain card games or dominoes or things like that, right? It's strategy and watching who would have and like
right?
Reading the room, reading people's body language, that kind of thing, right?
Yeah, like those games, it gave us a lot of life skills that at the time we didn't realize. And I mean, I sure a lot of these things, it had you interacting with people that you wouldn't normally interact with. And it's not like, let's say you had anything against the person, it's just that like, yo, like, because I guarantee you, they had some people you went to school school with that you didn't interact with all the time, and if you did interactive,
It was through playing a game.
It was for playing a game.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah, it helped build friendships.
Yep, for sure.
You know,
and it just break up the monotony and have fun, right? It's fun and it's simple, and for lots of them, like before we started introducing like the cards and the digital games and all of that, it was a way to have fun with very little, right? A simple kind of thing, right? So I was even telling Vernon the other day, we need to take out a deck of cards, just regular playing cards, and see what games we remember how to play, or look up games or whatever, just to play with some cards. Because I remember playing a lot of card games. My family used to play Rummy.
I don't remember. I remember like games at all, if I could be honest.
Yeah, but my parents, same thing. They had a book of different card games, so we'd play different card games and stuff like that. But I guess to kind of talk about it, like I know we had all of these great experiences with games, but like, what would you want to teach either your kids or your nieces and nephew? Like, what games that we had or experience? Okay. Why Scrabble?
Woo! Don't start. Don't start.
So Scrabble was a big thing for, I don't know about you, like it was a big thing in my family, but it was a big thing in my friendship with Adani and
really?
And my family, because Adani, Adani and my family, because when Adani comes over, my mom, she always wanted us to get off the computer and whatnot, and her way of doing that was getting us to play Scrabble and whatnot. Because
same
also
for Monopoly, didn't she?
Yeah,
there was always Monopoly at your house.
It's her way of getting us to get away from the computer but still use our brains and whatnot. So Scrabble was a big thing for us. We would play Scrabble with my mother, and that would get heated. Adani put a word down, and my mother like, that's not a word. And my mother said,
but I have a dictionary specifically
my mother bought a Scrabble dictionary.
I think the time they sat down to play Scrabble with me, Vernon's mother said she never played with me again. You know that, like she wasn't ready because because she wanted me to as if play Scrabble with some diplomacy, but we are playing in teams. It's every man for yourself.
But I mean, you saw it at like our New Year's gatherings at my house. Scrabble and Monopoly, that's a big thing for us. We especially when we rip out the upwards Scrabble, dog.
But the thing is,
now we were playing Vernon like almost every vacation, every holiday. And the one time I beat her, like I never came back to play again.
and when he came back and she mentioned Scrabble, he's like, no, let's play Monopoly. Let's play something else. After he beat her that one time, and then he's like,
losing his crown.
Now let's take that crown and run. But yeah, like those games, like that was like a lot of these games outside of like school and friends, like it was a big thing for me, I can tell you, for like my family and whatnot. Like we play Scrabble together. Like there'll be multiple times on multiple weekends, like on a Friday, my mom will be like, okay, we making hamburgers and playing Scrabble, or we play Monopoly. Like that's.
But I feel like the way that Scrabble and Monopoly are more easily accessible and available and stuff like that, I think it's good that people like Sapat Gaming are doing things that are like more related to our culture, because it's like one way to support our people, but another way to support like our things and our culture. Because like even Jamaicans, they play Kaluki, right? Like that's a big card game. That's like a whole, like Kaluki is a whole culture for Jamaicans. But even for us around June Creole, you see they start whipping out all kind of games and stuff like that haven't been like popularized, that we do all the time and stuff like that, right? So I think it's like there's a great thing of like a family playing board games or family playing card games, but it's cool to like bring in culture and stuff like that where we can, right? Because like our kids and our nieces and nephews not going to be growing up, unless they grow up in the Caribbean, and that's questionable. They're not going to be growing up playing the same ring games and stuff like that that we did,
I think
right?
nobody playing them games anymore.
And then even like, where did those games and songs or whatever come from, right?
Okay.
Like, I didn't even know what I was singing. to be
You were just
honest,
None of the time. None of the time did I know what I was singing.
It was fun, and it was helping you bond with your friends
Mhm.
and whatnot. So yeah,
Well, and even if you met another child that out somewhere that you never knew before, you could say, "Hey, you want to play XYZ?"
yeah.
And because I guess the influence of like digital life wasn't that strong at that point.
Mhm.
Like
You had
none of
to
us
be creative,
didn't have amazing
imaginative.
phones, if a phone at all, and we didn't have our
Right.
own laptop. We were using the house computer, the house desktop. So there's just like, what else is there
Yeah.
to do? Going outside was fun. Like riding a bike, going outside, playing these games was like fun. You don't even know since
Y'all
the time going by.
remember Red Light, Green Light, 1, 2, 3?
Oh,
I think
Bruh.
so.
a game that
Come
system
on.
had. Once you say
And
red light, I done walking already.
Cheater.
And then the poses people used to hold, like when you stop on the 1, 2, 3.
Simon Says. It was a simpler time.
Uh-huh.
It really was, and that's when I think children were outside more.
Mm.
It was a simpler time. You
But
outside,
it's also
you
that
played
communication with
friends.
each other, right?
Yeah,
like
man.
the one-on-one communication, not through a device.
Yeah, I think that was a big part of it. And like I said, it gave us life skills in the
that
moment.
we didn't know. Or
We
it
didn't know we
feel
were
like,
getting those
yeah.
life skills, but we were just enjoying it. But now that I look back on it, like, yeah, we got, and I suspect honestly, our parents knew that those games would give us those skills. They just didn't know how to explain it to us, or they knew we wouldn't understand if they tried to explain to us that that's the skills we'd get from it. So that's why they'd be like, "Oh, why you don't go outside and play?"
But
And,
I also feel like it's important for parents these days to show their kids those games versus just like throwing a tablet or something in their hands or putting them in front of another kind of screen, right?
Teach your child play X and O. Remember the game? There was a game. You would put a whole bunch of dots on a sheet, and you would take turns drawing a line. And if you complete a box, you mark it with something that's your box. And at the end of the game, whoever have the most boxes wins. I can't remember.
I
the
didn't
name
play
of the
it
game.
often, but I remember what you're talking about.
All of these things like strategy, boy. How to outsmart somebody.
We'll need to say we're gonna play games this summer.
Sure. Yeah, I want to really like brush up on my like the school card games, because I honestly just remember Volley Apache, and everything else I've learned has been what I learned in university, and it's usually 9 times out of 10 associated with alcohol.
Yeah.
All I know now is blackjack, poker. That's where I'm at on the card game front.
Even on the card games, I used to be so good at shuffling. I don't have it in me anymore.
Yeah.
The only thing I shuffle these days is my tarot cards.
Deep.
You should have seen Vinet's face.
Just shoot me. But it's interesting how as we got older we transitioned from those games to other stuff, and I think the main thing is because of like how technology advanced and our access to those things. Because when I think about it, when we were younger in like primary school and whatnot, not everybody had a Game Boy or console or whatnot. But as we got older, a lot more people got access to these things. So that's why we found ourselves in like secondary school. It was more video games and consoles, to the point that I remember there was a summer where we had exchange consoles.
Yep.
Or you had got like a PlayStation from your cousin, a PlayStation 2.
Yeah.
That PlayStation 2 didn't go off, huh?
Because we didn't have a memory card. So we have a fan on that, and we connect that to a secondary computer monitor.
But even, I guess, all of that probably started your guys' interest even in IT and tinkering and fixing things and stuff like that, right?
So for me, I remember it like specifically for me because I guess I had access. I was one of the fortunate ones who had access to those things early, and my friend, he had access to computers. We had access to computers. So I remember like outside of when when Nathan came over, I went over to Nathan's house. I wasn't really playing video games like that. I would play more tennis. I would be outside throwing a ball around or whatnot.
I didn't really play any video games, to be honest. It's really like maybe my parents got me like some CD, like it was computer related stuff. Like I do things that were more storyline related, like you have to go through like this world and complete XYZ tasks and that kind of things. But like as I say, it was like Neopets and at some point Sims, right? That were my hardcore
video games.
Let me tell you about Sims, right? My dad went to the US and when he came back, he brought me Sim City and Sim Farm. That summer, them games alone I play. Back then, if you talk to me too hard, I tell you how to build your city. Like I tell you, just tear down castries. Let me put that up for you. Sim Farm was basically the Sims, but you just had to manage your farm. So there would be like bugs and like storms, and like you just had to manage your farm, grow your crops, buy your farming equipment.
So it was
Farmville before Farmville.
Basically, Farmville before Farmville. And similar graphics at the time as well. And
how you were playing Mafia was on Facebook.
Nah. What we were playing was Warbook. I remember that.
But you were playing Mafia Wars too. You all started playing Mafia Wars,
but Warbook was the thing, and Warbook had us actually like we actually had wars with other people in person, because it's like, yo, we ganging up on that person. I remember
you all did Warbook while you were at community college.
Yeah, when we were A-level. No, but video games, video games in the beginning, it wasn't a big thing for me until I made friends with Nathan, and then but it got even bigger when my dad, like, he got interested in them. So I remember when he bought me a Game Boy for the first time. He bought me a Game Boy Pocket. That was the first thing he bought for me. And one of the games he bought two games. He bought Tetris and another game called Bubble Bubble. They were puzzle games, and my dad very big on puzzle games, so we would play together. Like, it would be like, oh, I set a high score in Tetris, like your turn kind of thing. Like, and like it became a big thing for me. And then I discovered things like Paperboy on his gateway computer. So I'd play those things with him. And that's when like video games, like it became a very big thing for me too. Like the point where like video games is like a major part of my life. Like I play video games on a regular basis now. And like, my dad laughs. He's like, if he had known like it would have become such a major part of my life, like he didn't see that coming. So yeah, like my dad was a big part of the whole video game thing for me. Yeah. I'm surprised you didn't play video games like that. I say I'm surprised, but I mean, I don't know. I don't think girls play video games that much back then.
I mean, there were maybe some, but it wasn't like major for me. Or as I say, the things I probably played were like computer indie kind of things. As I said, I had games on CDs. I don't really.
Were you all big on like playing with like actual like toys, like action figures type things? Like, was that
Lego
for you? Yeah, okay. Like, I didn't know what I'm talking about.
I think I played Legos when I was a child, but I didn't like, it was my brother's Legos, but I wasn't like really trying to build things or anything like that.
Okay.
My mom always said Anushka don't have patience, so that was probably what prevented my
still doesn't have patience.
Lego stuff. I mean, I used to like, you're gonna laugh at me and whatever, but I used to like bake and stuff like that. I used to ride my bike outside.
Oh, you had the cute little ovens, like
I totally had an easy bake oven, and at the time had no like the fact that a light bulb was cooking my food. It was like
it was blowing your mind. Like, what is this witchcraft?
I didn't even know that's exactly what was happening. I just knew you put it in the oven
and it came out.
You know.
Yeah.
But yeah, I did have an easy bake oven.
I'm surprised you rode a bike. I'm surprised you could ride a bike.
I was friends with a tomboy. I used to ride up and down my road. My bike had a brakes problem, so I had to brake with my feet. You know.
Hold on. So you did all the dangerous things, and now if I tell you let's go, if I try and put you on a bike now, you terrified, you petrified?
Yeah, I had some kind of trauma sometime after. Must be that happened. Because I mean, when I mean, I bust my chin, and all of these
So I
kinds of
almost die on
things,
a
right?
bike.
So yeah, I used to like ride my bike, like when you stand up and
you're
you
wild,
move
wild.
in.
No, Adani, I almost died on a bike.
And
I remember it was my
road,
9th birthday.
my road wasn't paved, it was potholes and things. So, that was a whole adventure.
Let me tell you that. I'm not forgetting that. It was my 9th birthday. They bought me a bike, my first proper actual bike. Because I used to either ride my father's bike or my brother's bike. But my father's bike was like, it was an adult bike. I was tall, but I wasn't tall. So they bought me a bike, and then me and my brother, we went Pigeon Point.
We used to ride on the Pope side up the hills there.
Yeah, we were riding, and I remember it. I was racing my brother. I went in a pothole. I fell off the bike, and at the same point in time, a truck was coming. Yeah, it was a scary time. I paid the road tax. I had guiji all over my body. It was,
yeah, have to pay it.
Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't mind getting over my whatever it is to be able to ride a bike again, but I need to practice.
Weather looking kind of good outside,
Yeah, I can. You don't have any.
I will plan on getting a bike.
Now in my old age, I'll want like knee pads and arm pads and whatever. I don't want to take
and
a
seat with extra cushion.
Right?
We're going in the alleyway behind the house.
Right now.
I mean, you might as well learn. Get back on that bike.
Yeah, I think as I got older, I got afraid of falling. And that's an interesting thing because I feel like we were so young and fearless and, well, I speak for myself. I was so young and fearless and like whatever. And I didn't know how to fall and I was taking all kind of pluck, but whatever. That was just the flavor of the day. Where's Anushka scabbed up? But as I got older, I got afraid of falling.
So before we end, let me ask you a question. We played all these games when we were younger and growing up and whatnot. Why do y'all think some of us, because not all of us stuck with it, none of us stuck with games, some of us we don't play games anymore.
Life happened.
Okay.
But I mean I do think, because for me, right, it's something I wasn't super into, but since you have your Switch, right? Like, and since we're in the pandemic, I started playing Animal Crossing and then I bought my Mario Kart and my Just Dance. And those things are great just for me to have a little fun. It's been so good and refreshing and a nice mental break.
Exactly.
To just be able to put that on. So I did kind of understand you and the gaming a little bit more. I do still think you spend too much time at a computer and not outside because you are really outside.
And then you should see the look I'm giving right now. Like, don't judge my computer time.
No, well,
I've earned this. All right, I've lived with my mother telling me, "Oh, you are the computer too. Go outside."
I'm just saying, maybe she was right.
No, she was not.
An hour of fresh air doesn't kill you, but also just having the nice.
We just came from a pandemic, there,
right? Exactly. Let me tell you how wrong she was. I spent so much time outside in my life. I spent entire days, hours playing tennis outside.
So that means now as an adult, you don't have to spend any time outside.
No.
Okay.
I'm not saying I don't have to spend any time
you don't
outside.
have to move your body.
No.
Okay.
I'm saying I can choose to not spend the time outside now.
That actually makes sense.
Y'all know we have a lovely pool, where has never been, not at our house, in the area, in the thing.
I would say why, but I don't want to be the neighbor that says exactly. You see, you put your hand up. The same reason you don't be talking in the Facebook group is the same way I'm not going to say why I don't want to go in that pool.
Anyway, the point is, I do think it's nice to have some kind of game or something that you can play. Even recently, I bought myself a Sudoku book or crossword book or whatever, just to do every so often, and it's a vibe just to kind of give yourself a break. Sometimes I even find when I'm working from home or if I'm on a meeting that I don't really have to be participating in, I like just doing a little Sudoku or something while I
I for me, the games is a mental exercise. It's a mental exercise outside of work stuff. Just thinking, how I can be this, how I can achieve this and whatnot. So that's my thing for games. I play chess on my phone. I mean, I'm getting better because I haven't played chess like in person in a while. So I've been playing chess the past week. I've been playing chess on my phone. I again whooped, but it's makes me think, you know, that I want to make that move and whatnot. So yeah, I'm not saying, you know, everybody have to become a super gamer. I just feel like, you know, pick up something, you know, give yourself a
you know, just as you said that, it just made me think. Games taught us how to lose.
It did.
Right?
It did.
You lose, you get up, you try again. Maybe
Get
that's
back
not
on that
for
horse.
you.
Red Dead
Exactly,
Redemption.
right?
You learn something from the loss, and I'll not do that next time. I'll try this.
Or Bobby, you know, so and so beat me how many times, you know, whatever. Tomorrow I coming back for them.
It taught you how to lose, and it taught you how to be competitive.
And it was a healthy competitive.
Exactly.
It wasn't like you know, toxic.
Yeah.
But hope you guys find some inspiration. Play some games this week
have
or
some
this
fun.
summer.
Part 1 of a gaming series.
Yeah. Use the games, you know, in mental health awareness. You know, maybe play a little video
take a
game
break,
to relax the mind, have some fun, you know.
or even, you know, because Winan brings up about how he sees all these angry women online telling their guys to stop playing video games. Pick up the controller with Bay. Tell him, show me how to play NBA 2K. Show me how to shoot somebody in Call of Duty, because I feel like the kind of stress and release you get from. Sorry.
Y'all truly don't understand. Like, before we end, I think y'all really don't understand the pleasure and the excitement and the happiness and the joy that we get from beating somebody in something online. Whether it is I kill somebody in Warzone, I beat somebody online in FIFA, I win a race against somebody online.
I felt it with Mario Kart on my winning streak, right?
You should have seen how hyped my sister and Anushka were, like playing against not even people online, the CPU.
I don't care
like
for
Donkey Kong, coming for you, and like it was, but it felt good.
It did.
Yeah,
I think a lot of women spend so much time hating on video games that they're afraid to pick them up now. So I would advise, try it. Just try it. There's so many different games out there. Even though you don't want to shoot, you don't want to race, you can farm, you can drive a truck.
There are puzzles.
There are puzzles. You can cook. There's anything you like to do in real life, there's probably a video game for it out there.
Vernon and I recently went on a date that was at a restaurant called Nerdvana, and it's a restaurant, but each table has a gaming console. So you put in your order, get your food and drinks, you know, come into like a regular restaurant, but you have your controllers and can play while you wait for whatever. So we played this weird indie puzzle game.
Co-op game. So it's like two pieces
of string connected, but they're all of these obstacles that you have to figure out how to do it together. So that was a kind of fun thing to do. So it doesn't have to be the most popular things. That indie game was actually like pretty fun and like a good mental challenge. And even for me, it's not that I don't understand the strategy. My difficulty is I don't know how to use the controllers, right? Like it just feels so foreign.
I don't think it's that you don't know. It's just
the hand-eye coordination.
Yeah,
that's the hardest part for me. Which is frustrating, but it allows me to put myself in a potentially frustrating situation to overcome it, right? Versus just avoiding things that make me frustrated, right? I'm not good at.
Makes sense.
I think they have a lot of these games that are good for you to play as a couple. It's y'all can, you know, let's sit in and play a puzzle game and you know, work it out. Or if not a video game, just do a puzzle together.
You want to do one of my puzzles with me?
Sure.
I have a 2,500 piece one there.
You see, and that's the problem. It's never let's do 1,000 pieces. Let's do 2,500. Let's do 3,000. But it's your birthday month. I'll do a puzzle with you.
Oh snap! On the table tomorrow.
I'll do a puzzle with you. Yeah. So guys,
that's what she said.
I mean, the table can't handle it.
Wow.
Guys,
all 1,000 pieces.
You're taking this somewhere really weird. Yeah, guys, you know, it's been a good episode. feel free, you know, as listeners, go back and revisit some of the games you played in your childhood. Maybe, you know, it'll bring you some, you know, some joy. You'll be like, yo, I really enjoyed playing that. Why did I stop, you know? Or maybe you'll find some new games that you want to try, you know? Try something. Relive. Awaken the kid in your heart, you know? Have some fun. Once again, this episode sponsored by Sapat Gaming. Please check them out on Instagram. They have a really good board game. They're about to drop a really fire card game, you know.
And we'll be doing an upcoming giveaway with them.
With one of the games.
So look out.
Yeah, look out. It's been another episode of the Caribbean Millennials podcast. We're out.